What's good? What's cracking? What's bracking, y'all? This is episode 2 of the Free Spirit Podcast, man. I'm your host, Jay Doozy, and I got two guests with me here today. On my right, or y'all left, I got Staff over here. Say what's up, man.
What's up, y'all?
And
Happy to be here.
on my left, I got Mumu, Moolah Beans.
Hi guys.
Yeah, she's excited to be honest on today's episode.
Ecstatic.
No co-host here today, but we got some guests, hopefully recurring guests for future episodes. Yeah, let's go ahead and introduce them to y'all. We got Moolah Benz over here. She does nursing and stuff like that.
Surgical technology, but yes.
Okay.
Sort of nursing.
She's in the medical field.
Medicine.
And then I got Staff over here. He does MMA, boxing, stuff like that.
Muay Thai, MMA, all of the above. I beat people up.
All right, Moo, why don't you tell the people what you got going on a daily basis?
Well, right now my life's really boring actually. Well, I kind of just go to work out, make dinner, go to sleep. But I've been trying to motivate myself to do either be focused on something, and it doesn't have to be hard like a hobby or sports, but it's just working on myself. So I put effort into that, so that way my life's not too boring. That's it.
That's what's up. Staff, why don't you tell the people how you got into MMA, man?
Man, I got into MMA during COVID. I feel like just being locked down, not really having access to the gym and all that. One of my homies was like, "Do you want to take this jiu-jitsu class? It's going to be in someone's garage." And I was like, I don't know about all that at the time, but I took it and I really enjoyed it. Just the competition aspect. I played football all throughout high school, a year in college, and I really thought that I just needed to be on a team. But competing to me means more than anything, and just the pursuit of greatness. So yeah, that's how I got my start. I trained for like a year of mainly striking, a little bit of jujitsu before I took my first MMA fight. And yeah, I knocked the dude out in like 20 seconds, and I've been locked in ever since.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I went to was it your last fight, or you had a fight after that too?
You've been to my last two, I want to say, because it was Temecula and then Long Beach.
Okay. Yeah, the first fight I went to, that one was crazy. You knocked him out in like 30 seconds. I throw the clip up there. I got that on my phone, but yeah, that was crazy. You had fight of the night, and you won the belt. That was hard.
Man, that was a good night, bro. First belt. It's been really hard to get fights for some reason. Even now, I done had like my last three potential opponents kind of be like, nah, I'm good. So, yeah, that fight, it took me a really long time to get that fight. I was actually supposed to fight somebody else, and they asked him to step in, and he was like, yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, man, beautiful knockout. He low-key rocked me for like a little second. I lost my balance, and just overcoming adversity in that moment and getting that finish really meant a lot. It's a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes, and we don't get paid as amateurs or nothing like that. So it's just doing it for the love of the game, for real, just trying to get better. So that one meant a lot.
What's up? You got aspirations of going pro or no?
Absolutely, absolutely. My goal for sure is to be one of the best in the world one day. I still have a lot of work to do, but working towards it every single day. Honestly, I mean, to piggyback on kind of what Moo's answer, like my daily life is boring, bro. I go to work, I got a regular 9 to 5, and then I go to the gym Monday through Friday. That's it. Spend time with Julia and my family, my friends every now and again. But I sacrifice a lot of my time just being in the gym, trying to close those gaps or create those gaps and just be the best. Working on that shit every day.
What's up?
Well, to be honest, I feel like with a lot of people in medicine, either being around people who did work in medicine or even from TV shows. So for me, I've always had love in helping people, and I've always been, pretty good with my academics, and I love science. I love how the body changes, how like there's just life in general through science. But what made me actually want to go into surgical technology and not other nursing programs and whatnot is because of Grey's Anatomy, which I feel like a lot of people in medicine watch. Um, Not medically accurate show, but at the time, as someone who doesn't know anything about medicine, who just as any other teenager, love watching shows. Um, that show really did it for me. And was like, surgery is actually pretty freaking cool. And I've I'm not really a people's person, I would say. It's hard for me to talk and get to know people, especially like for patients. Um, and like I was told from some nursing recruiters, like, oh, that'll just come with time, or like you kind of just talk to them like if you're in a retail job. But to be honest, for me, if I wanted to care for somebody, it'll be better to know each other at like the same level. You don't want to know them as a I'm I don't know. I feel like as nursing for nurses, you kind of put your education first. It's like, oh, I know stuff that this patient wouldn't. So they kind of make themselves a higher person. I want it to be, you know, if I am gonna be treating people and having to talk to them all the time, you kind of want to be on the same level. Um, but in surgery, a lot of our patients are asleep. And I love seeing results of things like before and after. And surgery really does that. Even as like simple stuff like um plastic surgery, like cosmetic stuff, you kind of see before and after. See bones come in tragically really broken really bad, and then you see them fixed. And for what I do is vascular surgery most of the time. And you open up these people's arteries and they look terrible. They're all clotted up or with plaque, and they're leaving with just a nice clean tube for their blood flow. So, yeah, I think that's why I chose surgery, is because it helps with my kind of emotional, mental kind of state that I'm usually in, not wanting to talk to people. But also, I am still working with like a tight knit group, so it's always good to, obviously talk to people and stuff, um, and being able to help the community.
What would you
Yeah.
say is the craziest surgery that you've done so far?
So far, um, I mean, crazy wise, physically and emotionally or mentally, sorry, are like two different things for me. Um, I'd say physically, I've been in an 8 hour case, like straight 8 hours, and it was what was it? Aortic bifemoral bypass, which basically your big artery that comes off your heart is your aorta, obviously, and then it branches off into your two legs. And basically, that patient's that patient had really bad plaque and clot down the two branches on their legs, and then they already had an aneurysm up top, where the aorta was, that kind of sits right here. So he basically bypassed it and put a graft that goes from their abdominal aorta to both femoral arteries. And yeah, it took 8 hours because that guy already had previous surgeries. So usually, if you're going again to do going back into surgery for stuff like that, is because it's either infected or clotted off or whatever. So this patient already had this surgery 3 times.
Sheesh.
I'm putting another one in, and anytime you enter the body and close it up, your body changes. So now cutting down into those different spaces that we were already in are like 10 times harder than if you weren't to go in there the first time. So that took 8 hours. So that for me was the most physically craziest because it's like just standing there for 8 hours. You don't. You would think like, oh yeah, maybe I need a pee. You actually don't think that. You're just so locked in that you don't even see like 5 hours go by. Um, but mentally craziest is probably when I had my first death because it was like so out of nowhere, and like my emotions were just thrown all over the places in that room. So I don't think it's HIPAA, but Um, but yeah, the patient obviously ended up dying. They had threw a basically a blood clot into their lungs, and where they had blood clot all over their arms, and that's what we were trying to clear out. But unfortunately, one part of it dislodged and went to the lungs, and then they stopped breathing, and then we had to do CPR, and we weren't able to save him. But yeah, I think that was my I would say mentally craziest, just because he came in, we are talking or having a conversation, and then he left. Obviously, not how anybody would think they leave. And it's like, to me, it was like, how do you like? It's crazy how I was like probably one of the last people that this person heard or
Mm.
seen, and I've never met them ever in my life. So it's like, and him passing, that'll be like his last memory.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was very emotionally like all over the place, but wasn't a heart surgery or anything. It was just mentally crazy.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough for sure.
Dang, so you deal with that on like a regular basis?
Unfortunately, yes. Dying not so much, because there's a lot of rules in surgery that are not the same in hospital, like recovery units and whatnot. Because so on the unit they probably see a lot more passings, because there's the do not resuscitate code. So they want to die naturally, so they can't really save them. Well, in surgery, we kind of bypass that rule, so they really can't die in the OR, even if they tried, because we will have to resuscitate them. But I think that's under the rules for like elective surgery. So if you go into a surgery that you chose to, and sorry, that you didn't really have to do it, but you wanted to do it, like cosmetic surgeries, or say like a gallbladder. Well, usually a gallbladder you go in because it hurts, so obviously you want to take taken out, but you don't have to do it right there and then. Um, so for those we will have to resuscitate for. But if you come in like as a trauma, and they've been trying for like hours to resuscitate you, and you're just not, reviving, then I think there's like a few doctors that have to declare it like, yeah, you're not gonna, or talk to a family member and saying like, yeah, they're probably not gonna make it. So, and then that's when they'll let you die. Not let you die, but call the time of death. So, but what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Well, you deal with that on a daily
Um,
basis?
well, yeah. So yeah, back to what I was saying is we don't really see death, but we do see a lot of emergencies come in, and your adrenaline's just up, and you're just going crazy all over the place, and yeah. But on a regular daily basis, I'm sorry. Throughout the week, I maybe do like one or two traumas, but normally I work the first shift, so we do scheduled surgeries. Um, but if an emergency came in and they had to put it in my room, they could. But yeah, ideally, mostly crazy stuff, because I work in vascular surgery, so a lot of the people are already like really sick or have like gangrenous toes, so they're about to fall off. Like a lot of diabetic come in, and like all their vessels in their foot are like really small, and then they stop getting blood flow, and then it dies off, and then stuff like that I see a lot. It was gross, but yeah.
Damn, that's wild, man. I've never really been a big fan of the like the healthcare system and like hospitals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not to say like you guys don't do like God's work, because you guys do save a lot of lives, but specifically like the medical system, I don't like how it functions.
Yeah.
At least
we
in
don't either.
America, when it comes to the healthcare system, specifically medicinal stuff like the pharmacies, they kind of just give you medicine with the hopes that you're gonna come back, because that's how they make most of their money, right? Like,
Yeah. Big pharma.
Healthy
like
people don't need, to go to the hospital.
right,
So they're
they don't
like,
need to
"We'll
they
keep
don't
you
need to go to the
treated." Yeah.
hospital,
Yeah.
because like, well, pharmacies, they make money based on what medications they're giving out and stuff like that. So by keeping you unhealthy, they can continue to make more money, right? And yeah, I see it with my pops,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it makes me not like the medicinal industry even more because you know these people who take these medicines they think it's saving their lives, but they're not creating healthy habits to get rid of, the need to take more medicine.
Right. I also feel like it's education plays a big aspect in that. Just because seeing the shift in our generation and our parents' generation and taking care of themselves. Um, like now as a person in medicine and seeing what I see, I feel like if I hadn't went into healthcare and learned about it, I would have never known. You know what I'm saying? With their parents, most of some, well, my mom has a high school degree, but I mean, high school diploma, but she had barely made it. Jay's mom, unfortunately, didn't get through high school like that. Um, and like even now, I'll tell my mom stuff. She's like, "Oh, that's crazy. I never knew that about my body." Or just now learning what grandma's going through. I feel like we all started educating ourselves slowly but surely, and kind of understood and worked on bettering ourselves health wise. Um, and that's just because we went out of our ways to learn it. And I feel like with their generation, they couldn't really learn because they all they knew was how to survive, and making survival for themselves and their family. Um, so they're not gonna educate themselves with about healthcare like that, like we would.
Hmm.
You know.
Oh yeah, because I recently been into my diet. I'm off of the diet right now, but um, yeah, I was really into this diet that I was in, and honestly, it was just plain. It was just oats, bananas, and a burrito. The burrito had the burrito had like really lean beef, some bell peppers, some cheese, and some onions.
Yep.
And that's all I was eating for like a week or two. And I want to say my body felt, uh, I wouldn't say healthier, but my habits, it felt like, it felt good. Like I had good habits going.
Yeah.
And like I was just functioning better. I was going to sleep at a regular time. 'Cause like I struggle with sleeping. Like
Yeah, you did.
that's why I don't like try to consume caffeine because I already have a lot of trouble like when it comes to staying up at night. And when I was on that diet, I was sleeping hella early and I was waking up hella early. So yeah, building good habits in one department, especially like for me, it was in my health. I was just eating the right foods. I was eating the right amount of fiber and the right amount of nutrients, and my body was responding to it in a healthier manner.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way whenever you be dieting for your fights and stuff?
Absolutely. Uh, I would say like obviously your nutrition plays like a huge factor as far as like how you feel internally, but there's so much that goes into it. Like I mean, I'm always training, so I sleep pretty good, but like the importance of the type of sleep that you're getting really plays a factor on like your overall health. And I feel like they say like most of us like don't get enough sleep, but most people don't get the right type of sleep is what I've also learned. Like I think it's REM cycles. It could be like deep REM sleep, I believe it
Right.
is.
Right.
Hmm.
Most people don't get the proper amount of hours in that. And a study that I was looking at actually pretty recently was saying that because of like the lifestyle that people live in China, where like they're like constantly moving throughout the day, and the times that they eat their meals and what they're eating is so consistent that they're able to get the right type of sleep on a consistent basis, which plays such a huge factor in the longevity of like the average lifespan out there compared to like America. And I was like, that's valid, bro. Like you see like Jack in the Box is open 24 hours or like McDonald's and shit like that. And it's like you're eating that shit, clogging your arteries, vascular surgery,
Mhm.
right before you go to sleep. And it's like you don't even think about it. It's not a conscious thought of like I'm eating this and this is the impact it's having on me. But yeah, like 100%. If you're not eating the right food, like you're gonna feel it in your sleep. You're gonna feel it in your waking energy and just everything. So
1,000%.
yeah.
Facts. Nah, that's why, man, one of my favorite classes I've taken in college so far was my life and nutrition class.
Yeah.
That lady, her name was Miss Black, and she was white,
Shout
but
out Miss Black.
she was fire. Her name was Betty Black. Or we were walking to class. Or first day we walked into class, she was like, "Just call me Betty or Becky, whatever her first name was." I didn't call her that, but yeah, she was tight. She taught a tight ass nutritional class. Um, she pretty much just taught me like the essentials when it comes to nutrition, like what foods we should be eating, what foods we shouldn't be eating. Like we really shouldn't be consuming any of these oils. I remember a story. She told us that uh, they were farming corn, but like they were using GMOs to make the corn, and like animals didn't like that. So like when animals would go to eat these corns, they would die, right? Or not die, but like insects and shit. Like insects when they go to like these big plantations of fruits and vegetables, they essentially eat all like they eat all the things on the plants that
The
prevent,
additives. Yeah.
yeah, all that stuff, right? But when there's GMOs and stuff like that, like non-natural things on them, like it'll cause them to die and stuff like that. And she was telling us a story how or I think it was the U.S. The U.S. is trying to sell these corns to like different countries, and they don't want to buy it because there's so many GMOs or additives in them. So the reason we have so much corn oil in the U.S. is because there's docks of corn loaded down in Long Beach, and it's just crates full of corn that nobody's using up and nobody's buying. So companies turn the corn into corn oil and try to sell it as that as like a healthy alternative for all these oils that we're using in our foods. But really, it's just
Same thing, rebranded.
it's even worse than just actually eating the corn, you know.
Mm.
And like oils are really not good for you because like you got to think how much corn you got to squeeze to get a drop of corn oil, you know, and that stuff is not good for you. So stay away from oils, man. Oils is not good for you. Same thing with Jack in the Box, man. That 24/7 munchie meal is it'll hit you. It'll hit in that moment and then it'll hit you later. Like it's not good for your body. Um, yeah, the U.S. is driven off of fast food and is keeping the population unhealthy.
Hold up, we can't even say that because we just ate McDonald's.
Ah!
True, but
We just ate like what?
it doesn't take away from the fact that like
That's the truth, though.
yeah, like
Just not every day.
To touch on what you just said, though, about other countries not being willing to buy the corn or whatever because of the additives, it's crazy because, like, the FDA in the United States versus, like, how controlled, like, other places are as far as what they're allowed to put in the food is crazy, bro.
hmm
Like, they really don't give a damn about us. And, like, in
yeah,
other places, they're like, no, like, we cannot give this to the public because, like, this is going to fuck them up. And in the United States, they're like, if we can get paid off of it, put that shit on the shelves, bro. Like it does not matter. So
yeah. No, yeah, we talked about that in that class too. Like they kind of just like find loopholes or like find ways to make things quote unquote acceptable for the public when really it's just not good for you. That lady, she's really into like her life stuff. Like her phone, like throughout the day, it's just a red screen.
mm,
Like because she doesn't or she knows how bad blue light is, like for your eyes and like, you know, trying to stay on a regular schedule, like especially a sleep schedule.
Yeah,
So if you
that's
see
really
her
cool.
phone, like her phone, it's just red, like, and I don't know how she do it, but she do it. So shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, and she would drink water. She went during our class break. She would go on a walk because she needs to get her sunlight for the day. Like getting a regular amount of sunlight is like genuinely one of the best things you could do for your body because your body just feels rejuvenated if you're getting regular sunlight.
That is true.
And for some people, it's you have to get more sunlight than others. Like you probably wouldn't need to get more sunlight than us, but
no, No, I believe it because the melanin traps the sunlight
Right.
differently.
Yeah.
So
Well, also, Irvin, my boyfriend, so he works night shift, and I work in the day, so I just continue on with my life. But for him, he has to adjust on his days off, adjusting back to regular time, going to sleep at night. Versus when he goes back onto his shift where he works night shift, he wakes up in the dark, goes to sleep in his dark, especially during the winter times. Um, but you can honestly see it in his face when he had like a longer week during the day. Like his face just looks brighter versus when it's him for his 7 days on in a night shift. When he has his final first day off, he just looks like his face just looks dark. Like his skin color is the same, whatever the same, but you can just see it in their face, their facial expressions, and just under the eyes and the eyes, how tired he looks and just like drained. But it's like you don't even see the sunlight, so obviously, I feel like that plays a big role because he just sees dark.
that graveyard shift though in general, I used to do security and it was just 8 hour shifts on grave or whatever. But like, bro, the people that work grave for like years, you can see that shit in them. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like people will be on there for like 4 or 5 years. It looks like they've aged like 10 years,
Yeah,
and it's
Man.
like it's the not sleeping, not getting sun, and just like destroying your circadian rhythm
yeah,
altogether. And
yeah,
that shit
literally.
literally breaks your body down. Like respect to people who do grave. I know if you got to do what you got to do. I've done grave shit, but that's not something I would be willing to do long term because of the long term effects it has on your body.
Yeah,
Facts.
and for most people, like 20 years or 25 years of their life is built on during the day or week during night.
I worked the
You know.
graveyard shift for like 3 months, and it was probably, I wouldn't say it was like the worst time of my life, but like it definitely opened my eyes to what these people are doing. Cause I worked at Amazon and it's a 10-hour shift. So, and I'm doing
Slave.
that 4 days, and then I'm doing that while I'm going to school. So I'm just up, like I'm barely getting any sleep. And man, my learning ambassador at Amazon, his name was Patrick. He was a really like young dude, like he had a youthful soul, but man, he was old. Like he was gray, but he had a full head of hair. And he had glasses, and he would wear like a kilt to work, like a little skirt.
Is he
Type shit.
Irish
I don't know, he might have been, but like like you would talk
or
to him,
Scottish? My bad, I'm
you would
ignorant.
talk to him, and he doesn't like he has an energy of a really youthful person, but he looks older. Like, and if I'm being honest, he was probably like 40, 45, and he had a gray head of hair, and like he just looked like drained.
It's crazy how much your health really reflects in like the way you age. Cause I was at one of my boys fought where I had my fight in Temecula, and one of the officials that night was talking to some other official, and he was like, "You probably wouldn't tell by looking at me, but I'm only 36," and I was like, 36 what, bro? Like, ain't no way you only 36, bro. He looked like 50 minimum. And I was just like, damn, bro. Like, he was saying something about he been doing judo for however many years, but he was like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at me, but I'm only 36. And I was just like, bro, like, anytime someone says I look young, I'm gonna take that shit as a compliment going forward. Cause it's just like, people be looking old as hell, bro, for no reason. Like, that's not good. That's not good. That's not tight.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah, man, taking care of yourself is so important. Like,
it really is.
it's probably it probably is the most important thing that you can do.
For yourself.
Health is wealth.
Right.
Health is wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually see it in our family a lot. Like our aunt that just passed away, rest in peace to her. Um she worked out every day, had her little routine of working out. She always watched what she put in her body. Like she ate traditional food still and stuff. But just on a daily basis, like she just won't eat a lot of carbs. Did her little workout routine all the time. Had a very loving husband. They were pretty wealthy. Um, and she honestly didn't have to work. She just wanted to work, but just having just a healthy lifestyle and how great she looked at her age, um, and versus, I'm not saying that my mom is any uglier or any older, but they're actually the same age. But you can tell if you look at the picture of both of them that my aunt that you know um, worked out and took care of her body more looks a lot younger than my mom. Um, but my mom didn't really have the time. She was a single mom, so she had to raise me and make ends meet. So she didn't really have the time to watch what she was eating. I mean, obviously she could just portion control, but you're stressed with a teenage girl, moving to a whole new state. Um, she was just stressed and she was eating and she was eating, and then you can just see it in her face how drained she was because all she did was work and eat. She didn't really take the time to go work out and stuff, and she didn't take any vitamins, none of that. But then my aunt did introduce her to like basically watching your health and watching how your lifestyle is, so that you can stay young. And recently that's what she started doing, and she looks. I mean, it's kind of hard to get younger when you're at their age, but just some more liveliness in her, I will
Yeah.
say.
I mean,
So
this goes back to education.
yeah,
Our aunt was definitely more educated than our parents,
yeah,
and it shows in how they took care of themselves. But our parents, they the way they got their education was a little bit different. They had to hustle a little bit differently. So, their paths always or didn't align the way our aunts did.
yeah,
So, they weren't obviously able to, become as well educated in, what they should be putting in their body or what they need to be putting in their body. So, for her to have a friend like that who is, educating her along the way, even as she gets older, it's good for them. But it also goes back to the U.S. and how it kind of preys on uneducated individuals, especially immigrants. Like,
yeah. They definitely do.
our parents, they don't know how bad McDonald's is for them, but they're still gonna eat it because they think or because it's food. Like they don't really have food like that.
That is true.
And to have easy access to so much food, whether it be good or bad, like you know, where where they come from, all food is good food.
Yeah.
So when you see McDonald's on the corner and everybody's at McDonald's, they're just gonna end up following suit.
Hmm.
And that's another thing with fast food, like in like poorer demographic areas, like you could see fast food almost everywhere. Like it's almost on every corner, whether it be a McDonald's, a Jack in the Box, or Burger King, or Taco Bell, Del Taco, whatever.
I feel like also, sorry, but
You got.
geographically, you're talking about the fast foods everywhere. I feel like that's why Southern culture. I will say, from a professional standpoint, um, one of our newer doctors at our hospital was from Detroit. But he's always been in like a metropolitan area, whether it be Detroit or I think he did some schooling in California as well. But he was like, I've never seen such like health wise for vascular be such a a bad thing in, or it's been worse since he's been in the South. And that's just because like literally like a lot of the foods here, there's a lot of different varieties. And with different varieties and different cultures, there's different ways they make things more. um I feel like Indian, Pakistan, or just Middle Eastern in general, they do a lot of vegetables and stuff. Um and like Asian cultures, we have a mixture of both, vegetables and meat. And a lot of our dishes just, you can see that a lot of our dishes are made with fish. Geographically, this all we had to survive on was seafood. Versus in the South, it's like literally a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Whataburger, Waffle House, everywhere. Literally, you can find it within 10 miles from each other. And I feel like that's why it's geographically that plays a kind of standpoint in that.
Mm-hmm.
Just to touch on that, like even further, I feel like the point you made about education, um, socioeconomic status and education literally go hand in hand. And when you have, uneducated people, oftentimes you have lower earning people, people on a lower
Yeah.
income scale. Like you said, they're gonna buy whatever's available, whatever's around the corner. There's 20 McDonald's on this block. I'm gonna hit a McDonald's. I'm gonna hit a Popeyes or whatever.
Mhm.
And like you were saying, like a metropolitan area, a downtown or something like that. Those are gonna be wealthier individuals, people who are on the higher income earning side of things. So you're gonna have shit like Whole Foods and
Yeah.
Sprouts in those areas. And not to say that's the single differential between, you know, being healthy or not being healthy, but having access to things.
Having access,
I
a
feel like
thousand
that
percent.
goes so overlooked a lot of times, especially
Mhm.
especially in America. People are like, "Oh, the importance of vitamins," and it's like, no, people who don't have money for their bills don't give a shit about buying vitamins. They just don't. And it's like, even to that point, if you don't have access to that at like the store that you go to, the one store maybe
Yeah.
within like a 20 block radius, you're not worried about that. That's not something that's going to be the difference between surviving and not surviving.
Yeah.
And you mentioned like literally being in survival mode. Like, when you're in survival mode, it's not like, oh, I want to do this because it's best for my health. It's like, I want to do this because I want to stay alive.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there is no, deeper kind of thinking or like critical analysis of what I'm putting into my body. It's like, if this is going to give me the energy to stay alive, I'm going to ingest this,
Yeah.
period. And I feel like, speaking from my perspective of like, a black American, like soul food in the South and shit like that, like, my parents are kind of like the first generation of kind of like stepping away from that. Like, I was raised Muslim, and my parents didn't eat, like, we didn't eat pork and stuff like that. Like, I didn't have like a hamburger until I became like a teenager. And like those small things kind of played like a really big factor in how I view what I put in my body, because it's just like, it was instilled in me to understand like, we as a people ate like certain things because that was what was available to us, for us to eat. But that doesn't mean that's the best thing for you.
That
So
is true.
Facts.
And convenience plays a big part in that, I feel like, too.
definitely.
Because,
Convenience, education, money.
yeah.
Those are all factors that can play into, you know, what you decide to or what people decide to eat.
Yeah. Like, a few months ago, I was like, in a pretty dark place. But I feel like I kind of built on top of that, trying not to. But obviously, I was always very busy with work. And I was like, okay, well, fast food's down the street. And I kind of want to take time to rest. So let me just go get Taco Bell, eat that, take a shower, go to sleep. Um, and then like I spent a lot of the time just being on my phone or just being on my phone, going through Instagram, TikTok, and I chose, you know, bringing my phone comfort to me, making that a big aspect of my life. And I feel like at that point I was really lazy, um, just doing convenient things and not really thinking about myself. And then I got real chunky, I will say. Just very unmotivated, mentally too. And then I started like finding my kind of flow with cooking again. And I feel like when you're cooking, you're kind of thinking about what you're putting in your body, and it takes a good part of your time during the day, but it's keeping you up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on my phone. I'm actually cooking with food. Um, Obviously watching what I'm putting in, and so now I'm not sitting there lazy and stuff. And I feel like finding a hobby is a good thing to have. So you're not doing the same consistency. I feel like consistency is good, but I feel like everyone needs a little like push outside of the consistency a little bit to stay sane. I feel like when I'm too much of like eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep, when change happens, I'm just like, oh my God. But if change is always happening, I'm more comfortable with change. Kind of. I don't know.
I feel like you kind of get into that. Put the clip in there, bro. The Squidward. The, you know what I'm talking about?
Um,
Squidward, where he's like, he plays the clarinet, he rides his bike, he
Oh
does
yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
and then the day starts over. He plays his clarinet, he rides it, and
yeah,
in the beginning he's fucking with it because it's like, oh yeah, I have a consistent cycle, and then towards the end he's all sad because it's like, oh, like these few things are my life. This makes up my existence,
yeah.
and I feel like as humans, like especially as we get older and you start working or you get out of school, like after a big change or like you overcome, like not overcome, but like you accomplish something. I feel like I had the exact same thing where like I wasn't training for a bit and I was just working and yeah, like I would just be on my phone, I'm eating fast food, I'm getting fat, I'm just being like lazy and like
Right.
I'm like, oh, well, I'm working. I was working two jobs actually at that time because I wasn't training and I was like, well, I'm doing these things. Why don't I feel good? But if you're not doing something that fulfills you or like gives you like some sense of purpose, I feel like it's very easy to get caught in that cycle. So
Yeah.
Fulfillment, breaking cycles, man. That's what we gotta do. Put yourself in situations in which you're uncomfortable. Because when you do that, you'll become comfortable.
That is
But
true.
you don't want to be comfortable. Always be in a situation where you're uncomfortable because that means you're putting yourself in the fire and that means you're putting yourself in situations to make yourself become better. You feel me?
I love that.
Man, I used to hate doing presentations and um I still do to a certain degree, but like when I was younger, like I really did not like doing presentations. I guess just public speaking wasn't really my thing, but because I was in like higher level classes, like when you're in those classes, you have to, make presentations and then present them to the class. And that kind of that put me in an uncomfortable situation, a situation I wasn't comfortable with. And as I kept doing it, it became easier for me. And it just became a skill that I learned to pick up that some people don't have yet, especially at these older ages. Like, like it could be dudes like 26, 27, and they still struggle with public speaking, and that's a skill I just learned just from being in the fire. And there's so many skills that you can learn just from putting yourself out there. Like I have a thing where it's paralysis of getting out there essentially. Like don't have paralysis of doing something, just do it.
Yeah.
oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. People are like, oh, I want to take a class. And they're like, oh, well, I got to register. I got to find the class. I got to find the time. I got to, you create these obstacles in your head before you even understand the problem. And then
Yeah.
you're like, well, I'm not going to do it because of blah, 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 blah,
Hmm.
rather than being like, this is what I need to do. I'm going to find a way to get it done. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people do that in life. It's kind of like cooking, It's like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I got to go to the store. I got to wait in line. I got to deal with these
Yeah.
people. It's going to be traffic. And then you're like, fuck it. I'm going to go to
Right.
In and
Yeah.
out. And, you talk yourself out of it. So, you know, the store might be empty. You don't know. And you might have the best drive of your life. But you never allow yourself to get to that point. And to kind
Mhm.
of touch back on what you just said, like putting yourself in the fire, like that more than anything in this life has really shown me like who I am. Like, um, when I played football, like I liked being under the lights, but I was a team guy. Like I made my plays, but I wanted to win more than anything. And when I started fighting, I was kind of like, shit, like if I lose, it's just me,
Yeah.
like, and but I never thought about it. The same sentiment when I win,
Right.
it's just me. I mean, it's
Yeah.
my team, my coaches, and all that, my training partners, but I'm the one who has to go out there and win. And it's like, I've put myself in the fire many times, and every time you put yourself in the fire, you're not gonna get the outcome you want. But like those feelings, those positive feelings of like accomplishing something and knowing you worked for something and putting yourself out there and achieving something
Yeah.
only come when you put yourself in the fire. So I
Right.
encourage anyone who watches this, whether it be one person, do something you
Yeah.
uncomfortable with, man. Make
Facts.
yourself forge yourself in the fire, bro. See what you made of. See what
Mhm.
your character truly is.
Right. And I feel like I feel like we all have our times where, we think of a situation like, oh, it could go bad, but we never think about it can go good. And I see it with our nephew a lot. He, I feel like another parent to him at times because I have to explain to him certain things that I don't feel like I should explain to him because it comes naturally to me. But when you don't have guidance, you have to find it somewhere. And I feel like for him, I'm his guidance at times. And I know for him, he thinks down of himself a lot. You know,
Mhm.
so you kind of just have to like instill the idea that yeah, something bad could happen, but something good could happen too. So why don't you go find out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have a quote on embarrassment actually. So this is gonna be the quote for today's episode. Um, believe it is. Hold on, I gotta find it real quick. But
About to spit some bars.
embarrassment is an underexplored emotion. Go out there and make a fool of yourself.
Yeah.
So for those of y'all watching, um, if you guys don't take anything from today's episode, hopefully it'll be that put yourself in situations where you might embarrass yourself, but allow yourself to be embarrassed. Allow yourself to feel what that feels like, so that when it happens again, it doesn't feel as bad as it was the first time,
Yeah.
and the time before that, and the time before that. Because once you can get used to that feeling, like you'll be unstoppable. Like nothing can stop you. Because if you can no longer feel embarrassment, you'll just end up doing whatever the fuck you want to do at all times. You know?
Yeah.
If I could just add one last thing, um, I watch. I'm an MMA guy. I watch MMA anytime I can watch MMA. And there was some UFC fights last night, and a Chinese female champion named Zhang Wei Li. She challenged up a weight class to win the belt in that weight class, and they were like, you're a great champion in your division. You have a great resume. Aren't you worried of becoming like embarrassed? What if she knocks you out? You're fighting a bigger woman, a dangerous champion in her own right. This could tarnish your legacy. And she said, basically in Chinese, some words have two meanings, kind of thing. And I believe that the term she used was wei shi. And basically, to my understanding, the definition was like where there's danger, there's also opportunity.
Mm,
Mhm.
So you feel me? There's the danger of that embarrassment, but there's also the opportunity to be something more than what you are. You feel me? At worst, you gonna end up in the exact same situation you in. So why not take a chance on something?
right. You got
I love
anything you
that.
want to
I do. I feel like I kind of see it within myself, and I feel like that really spoke about what's been happening in our lives right now. Um, yeah, I feel like I grew up or matured a lot faster than most people my age, and that's because like low key being broke and being with just my mom, it kind of I did all the embarrassing things. I was like 14, 15, trying to look for a job. They're like, no, you're too young. I'm just like, I mean, I'll do it. I'll do it. And like to me, I had really bad social anxiety, so I had to really push myself to do stuff sometimes. But I feel like it helped me better myself in a way.
add?
You know what I'm saying? Um, Either that be failing my driving test or failing this and that, or like filling out a FAFSA form wrong, or I don't know. I feel like all the mistakes I've ever been through kind of helped me to be the person that I am now. Um, so recently we're looking at houses, and honestly, the people that everyone we talked to, they're like, you guys are really like young, like this is a big purchase and stuff. But it was like, yes, but that's why we're here talking to you guys to educate ourselves, and either we're making a fool of ourselves and asking stupid questions, so be it. But we don't obviously don't want to go to buying a house, but no education whatsoever. So I don't know. It took a lot for me and Irvin, we're very quiet people. We both have social anxiety, so going out to talk to people, and we're low key both fob, so our English is not the best sometimes when we're having to speak professionally to people. I feel like I embarrass myself all the time, but at least I learn from what I say and how I talk. Um, I'm learning how to switch on my professionalism and when we're not, and or asking the appropriate questions and stuff. Um, Kind of shaped my way of speaking and shaped my way of thinking as well. Because honestly, without Irvin and both of us trying to learn how to talk to people, I feel like if we've never embarrassed ourselves, we will never learn how to talk. So I love that. I love that.
That's what's up. Yeah, you pretty young, man. 22, buying a house. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Big
it is.
stepper, big stepper.
I just feel like our parents miss a lot of good opportunities, and when the opportunity is right for right now, because I feel like real estate in South Carolina is really, really cheap, and there's a lot of potential where we're living at now. So I feel like this is, we both have stable jobs. Let's do it now. You know,
That's what's
and I
up.
feel like, and a lot of the wealthier aunties that I know of, whenever I talk to them, a lot of their stories start with being uncomfortable and taking the opportunity whenever they had the chance to. Like our aunt's house, our aunt that passed away, I had looked back at it and she had bought that house. I don't know if it was already a 1 story or 2 story, but it was like 280,000 in 2002, right? In the suburbs of Southern California. And now, with the effort she put into fixing it up, I think she added the second story on later. But her house is beautiful now. We went there today. It was beautiful, and the value of it is like 1 million something now. Just because,
Hmm.
and I think their house is the only 2 story house in that neighborhood,
Mm.
and it's beautiful. But buying it for 280, and now potentially if they wanted to sell it, it'd be $1 million. And I'm honestly so happy to see my mom do it. But when we moved to South Carolina, even though that house was low key like a trap house, she made it into a beautiful home, I will say. And we had only bought that house for 12,500. I still don't believe that number till today. But I actually went through all of her paperwork and stuff, just because we're going through some legal stuff earlier this year. But I had came across like all the paperwork from when she bought the house, and it was really that much. And I was like, what the heck? And
Nah,
then
that's
I
crazy.
I put it on Zillow the other day to see like if you were to sell it, how much it would cost, and like just houses around that area is like from 250 to 300,000, and she bought that for what, under 20,000. That's a pretty good
That's a car.
profit, yeah.
Like what?
But because she took the opportunity,
Yeah.
she was the first in our family. I mean, there was obviously a lot of Thai and Cambodian out there in Spartanburg, South Carolina, but it's because they took out the opportunity before, and look at them now.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like my mom's doing a lot better for herself and for me. And a lot of families who did move out there were from Southern California. And, cost of living was going up, and would you rather have paid 300,000 for a 3 bedroom 2 bath condo in California, or have like 3 acres and a single family house that's real nice for 300,000? Um, and so I mean, yeah, they all took the opportunity and they're doing a lot better for themselves. I will say, so I feel like right now it's kind of our time to do that. So that's why I feel like I don't know.
Leave that, man. Oh yeah, that was really big for you guys. I'm happy for you guys because that house looks a lot better than when you guys first got it.
1,000%. I
And
kid you not. When I went into the house the first time, I was low key scared. I was like, I'm living here. What the fuck? Like the walls were brown. There was like chip flooring, and I guess they were trying to remodel, but they took out all the carpet, and all the carpet was like rolled up into like a big roll. But then there'll still be some like hanging around everywhere. And I'm pretty sure when they first moved or first had opened the door and anything, there was like rat shit, dead rats, and they had cleared all that out. But like wrote like plywood on the fucking windows when he bought it type shit. I was like, I'm not living here. Like I was so against it.
You gotta trust the process sometimes, man.
Yeah, yeah, and that really opened my mind up. Like as a teenager, I was very like close minded as a teenager, I would say. And I think it was because I felt like there was a kind of like a betrayal. Like my mom, what the hell? Like you moving me out here to this random? Like who the fuck knew about South Carolina like that? I mean, and then I was like, I'm being away from my family and da da da. But I didn't realize she did it for us. I didn't know she was going through a separation with her partner at the time. None of that. I was just like, wow, my mom hates me. Was I really like that bad? You had to move me to across the country. But no, I was a badass kid, but she did it for the better.
That's far. No, I'm gonna stray away from this topic a little bit. Not too much, but I think this plays in part with the idea of just having a solid foundation. Like just having a good group of people around you that, you know, you're only looking to better yourselves with. Like you and your mom are an inseparable duo.
Badass.
And that's what made that work out for you guys. Because, you know, your mom just wanted the best for you. And, you know, you love your mom unconditionally the same way she loves you.
Yeah.
So for you to do that, not on your own, but on your own,
Yeah.
and to come out even better than the condition you started in, like that's just, it shows what having a good foundation can do for you.
It really does. And that's, I feel like we fixed our relationship a lot, me and my mom. Because when we were out here, I mean, I was going through puberty and she was going through stuff she didn't want to talk about. And we butt heads like every day. And we're just yelling at each other. And I mean, we're not perfect because we still yell at each other, but we know we don't take it seriously like we used to. Like my mom used to think, oh, I yelled at her. Like my child is like the worst child ever. Like I need to, like, I don't know. And I used to think the same thing. I was like, oh, really fucking hates me, huh? But living together and with time and growing up, we slowly started fixing our relationship. And now that our relationship is great, I feel like we're both doing better. She, you know, got her own house, doing her own thing, learning independency. And then, you know, I'm doing my own thing now. But yeah, good foundations.
Mm-hmm.
Even with a house, always check the foundation first.
Right. And you know, you got that foundation with our cousin over here. Mm-hmm. She's out of the shot because she didn't want to be on camera today. But
shout out Julia Juju Soraya on Instagram. Listen to her poetry. Read her poetry on Substack.
On Substack, yeah.
She's a famous poet. She's published.
Facts.
Get the anthology.
She's putting on for our community right now in the poetry scene, and she's gonna be on the episode soon. Just not today, but yeah, just having a solid foundation. It just having a solid foundation. It allows you to continue to build up on whatever you guys got going on.
Yeah.
And the more you build, the stronger it gets. And for us, it's leading to successes everywhere. You know. So yeah, build a foundation. Have people around you that, you know, only want to see you win, only want to see you do better. Mm-hmm. Because when you have people like that around you, it's contagious. When you want to see people win, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
It's and vice versa. You know.
Just surrounded by winners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of our cousins actually, he's like I'm pretty sure he's a millionaire. I don't know. But he makes a lot of good money. And you know, he always surrounded himself with, you know, people of his business.
Thanks.
And everywhere he goes now, he just talks to people and creates connections. And I feel like from there, he just gets more companies, more investments, and just get richer. And now he's having a good life with his wife and kids, living in Irvine. Just best life ever. He literally bought his whole fucking wedding party red bottoms. I was like, what? I was like, you're lying. They were like, yeah.
That was probably some of the hardest shit I've heard in a minute.
Yeah. You went to his wedding. You didn't see? They all had red bottoms on.
I didn't see that. I was at the wedding, but I didn't know that they all had red bottoms on. And I also didn't know that he bought them all red bottoms. Yeah. I thought that was crazy.
That's what they told
like, that's some.
But they were all wearing red bottoms. I'm pretty sure.
Different bag right there.
That's a different bag, but it also shows, like, he has a good foundation around him. And if he didn't have that around him, like he wouldn't have had people who he would have went out of his way to, get red bottoms for.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was hard. When you told me that earlier today, I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Makes me want to do it. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Facts. I said I was gonna do matching watches.
Yeah. Irvin said because if we did have a wedding, it would be like half Mexican, half Cambodian, and they were like they dressed very like Western cowboy, and he wanted his groomsmen to have cowboy hats, and he was gonna get all of them one with their initials embroidered, and then our wedding day on it or something. I don't know. He wanted to personalize it in some way,
That's far.
and then I was like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? Because I want them to wear heels, but I don't know if I can afford red bottoms for everybody. But I don't know.
One day we gonna be able to, man.
One day.
But yeah, having a solid foundation, I feel like that's just, again, like surrounding yourself with winners, man. Because like if you surround yourself with winners, like all you can do is just win.
Man.
How you gonna be a loser around winners?
Is that the song goes?
What?
I don't know. All
I do is win.
Yeah.
Is that DJ Khaled?
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure, DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Nah, that's real though, man. I switched gyms after my first fight. I won and everything, but I had the opportunity to train with a multiple-time California state champion at the time, and same weight class. And I was like, shit, like I can be here with some people that have went on like small stages, or I can be somewhere with the best amateur fighter in my weight class in California. And you definitely have to surround yourself with the right people, and yeah, just make sure your foundation is solid. You can't build, an empire on a shitty foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
you know,
Another thing is to check your foundation, because like just because you have a foundation don't mean it's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got people around you that you don't think is supporting your foundation the way they should be, you got to cut them off. Because another quote I got for y'all: a king doesn't hang with peasants just because they grew up together,
That's true.
or just because they was in the same class. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like, if you got people who isn't supporting you in the way they should be, or you're not supporting them the way they should be, whatever, right? Like you kind of just gotta get rid of that and find people who are gonna ride for you the way you would ride for them.
Yeah.
Bring you up the way you would bring them up, and that's the only way it's gonna work.
And what I think is true a lot of times is, people say after you graduate high school, sometimes you will never ever see your high school friends ever again.
facts.
And it's because obviously you're starting to mature after high school, and people have different things going on and stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not friends with a lot of my high school friends anymore, and it was because well, I had started dating Irvin my senior year and whatnot, and obviously we're growing up. We had to start thinking about our future and whatnot, and we weren't that serious, but I guess they felt like I was hanging around with him more than I was hanging around with them or whatever. I don't know, but once we graduated and stuff, like I was focused on school and my life with Irvin, my mom, and going through college was low key kind of rough. But whenever I hung around my high school group of friends, they were just always like, I don't know if they just saw me doing a lot better than them because they weren't going through college or whatever. But they're just real negative, and I'm just like, damn, bro, it's like that. But you went to my college graduation. I had one of the homies there, and she was always supportive through that, and was always there for me when things were rough and stuff. I still talk to her, but not as much as I used to. But I started getting more friends, especially at work. They're all kind of older and mature, but I feel like they also helped me get my foot in the door of things. I don't know how to pay taxes. Shit. I don't know nothing about getting a mortgage. I don't know. But talking to them makes me feel a lot better. They've been through shit. So
They say separation is required for elevation. So,
yes.
you moving up, like no disrespect to them, they probably going on whatever path they want to go on or what they need to do for that time period in their life. But it's like if you're choosing to hate on me for shit going down my path, we can't be
Yeah.
cool like that.
Facts. Oh yeah. Whenever I see my homie succeed, man, it just makes me want to work harder.
Mhm.
Like I, there's this one homie I have. I see him occasionally, but whenever I do see him, man, he inspires me, man, and it's crazy because he's the same age as me, but you know, he does certain things and that not I wouldn't say I wouldn't expect from him, but seeing him, hustle out on his own, like makes me want to hustle. So
Mhm.
shout out to him, man. Um, but yeah, you said separation is the key to elevation. Like if you can't, let your homie do his own thing while you doing your own thing, like it's just not good for your relationship, man. Like if you guys can, do your own thing or you know, or if you guys can each do your own thing, like when you guys come back together, it's only gonna be more greatness.
It will be.
So yeah, separation is key to elevation.
Yeah. You can't be, yeah. You can't have clinger honors to what you trying to do, or if they slowing down your motion because they not, no disrespect, but if they
Right.
don't have no motion and you trying to be around me, it's like, why? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
it's all love at the end of the day. Like you said, like if we really friends, I cannot see you for 6 months.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You hit me or I hit you, it's still gonna be the same love that it was before. So
Yeah.
Facts.
those are really the friends that I have. Because like I said, like I train every day. I don't have the energy to talk to people every day. I talk to Julie every day. Like that's it. I don't talk respectfully. I don't talk to my mom every day. So it's just like if I don't see you, that doesn't mean I don't fuck with you or like it's not the
Yeah.
same love that it was the last time I seen you. But
Right.
if you feel some type of way because I can't talk to you every day or we can't buddy and do what we used to do in high school, it's just like, bro, I've outgrown you, and that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Some people are gonna be where they're gonna be. Some shit take longer than other. Some stuff for certain people takes longer than other people, and it's just you just gotta leave it where it is. But yeah, definitely
Facts.
don't let yourself become someone who's like stuck on a friendship or on a relationship if it's something that doesn't serve you anymore. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's cutting out negativity in your life too. Stuff
definitely.
like that.
Yeah, negativity is contagious, man.
It is.
When you surround yourself or when you have negative thoughts all the time, it just leads to negative behaviors, and that's why you gotta surround yourself with people who uplift you, bring positive energy.
Mhm.
Because vibrations are real, man. High vibrations, low vibrations, man. I don't know if y'all know about that. Like you can kind of just sense when somebody has high vibrations and when somebody doesn't.
Definitely.
Mhm.
I'm not saying I radiate high vibrations, but like I don't know. I feel like you could walk into a room and you kind of just tell what the
The
vibes
vibe is,
are,
yeah.
what the
Yeah.
vibes are with people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even if we're not on the same type of timing, you know, if you have good energy is contagious. If you got bad energy is contagious. And it's like, don't be the person that comes into the room and bring the energy down.
Mhm.
Drink some water, get some sun, have good energy. Like,
Yeah. I see that at work a lot. Like
for
the whole,
sure.
all the nurses, anesthesia, me, we just vibing, we just chilling. Doctor walk in, mad as hell, don't talk to nobody, start throwing shit. I'm like, God damn, what is wrong with you? Go eat a Snicker bar or something. Can't even talk, can't even listen to music during surgery. The hell?
Oh yeah.
But you have a surgeon walk in, good morning, everybody. We do a little prayer. Even though the case is frustrating, you're not gonna fucking yell at me. Um, but I don't know. I love working with doctors that treat me with respect, regardless of degree. We're a team. We work as a team. So yeah, even in the fuck, you go to the club, it ain't jumping, and everybody just standing there. You're like, you're not gonna have fun.
Yeah.
You go to a club in Vegas, everybody dancing, everybody having a good time. You're gonna have a good time. Yeah, I don't know with anything. You can see that. Walking a chicken. Yeah, I was third like a motherfucker.
Oh
But yeah,
man.
That's why I love Southern hospitality. Shit, I walk in Waffle House. Hey, baby, what can I get you, sweetheart? You know, shit,
Facts.
I take Waffle House over IHOP any day.
Man, I ain't never been to the South because racism. But
Yeah,
no, I don't know. I don't know what the South talk about. I've never been, like I said. But
yeah,
you do hear that all the time, like Southern hospitality. Or I meet people out here, and you have a conversation with them, and it's like, oh, you're not from California.
yeah,
You move different towards people. You're a good person. Like, yeah.
yeah. Honestly, I see that. Like, even though I was like kind of raised here as a kid, but I kind of grew up mentally once I moved over there,
Mhm.
and then coming back sometimes it's kind of like, damn. Like over there, we say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, excuse me when you bump into people, and like out here, shit, get off the airplane, ain't nobody say excuse me. I think it's weird too because I'd be like, yes, ma'am, and just be like,
Somebody out here will bump into you and look at you like you're crazy as hell.
yeah.
Like,
I think it was in Vegas. Somebody bumped into me, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, and they just gave me a stank face. I was like, damn, take my sorry back, bro. Take
that's
my
how it
sorry
be. They take
back.
that as a sign of weakness. Like, bro, what?
Try to give you some respect, but whatever. But over there, I love it. I
We
mean,
co-
there are some
we
racist
coming
stuff.
down for Cambodian New Year next year.
Yeah, it's gonna be lit. I love country living. I don't know why,
So
but
does
yeah,
she.
so many golf courses over there. Golf, just fish. Fishing is low key boring, but when you catch a fish, it'd be low key fun. Or just vibing at the lake. It's nice. Gun culture is low key kind of big over there though.
Shit, it's America, bro.
It's
Like,
America. But I would say like shooting skeet with shotgun low key fun.
hey, we shot ski. Ski. That was lit. That was
Yeah.
lit.
Well, when y'all come down, we can go to the shooting range. We took Jason and we let him shoot some of Irvin's guns.
Is South Carolina an open carry state?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't be scared.
Sometimes, but we're protected.
So you open carry.
Not me. But I will say we literally have one in our nightstand. And funny story, like last week or this week, I can't remember, but Irvin comes back home and does a half shift on Wednesdays. So he comes home at like 2 in the morning or something. I forgot it was Wednesday, and I have my ring notification on, and it'll go off whenever like there's motion, and nobody goes through the back door, which is the door that we always use, and it had censored, but I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't really see what my screen was saying, and then I was just like, no, I'm tripping. So then I was like slowly drifting back into sleep, and then I heard footsteps,
Hell
and
no.
Irvin's nightstand has the gun in it and everything, and I was like, well, do I call 911? Like, what do I do? And then I was like, well, he's already like up the steps. If it is somebody,
I gotta get this. Nigga
like I
A's.
kid you not, I was so scared. What do you call it? I was just in my underwear. I had a t-shirt and stuff, but I didn't have any like sweatpants on or anything. And I was like so scared for my life. I had the gun in my hand and I was trying to pretend like I was sleeping. And then he finally opened the door, and I was dead ass shaking. And then I saw Irvin's figure, and I was like, "This fucking son of a bitch! I could have shot you." But another crazy story, it kind of saved us one day because there was this homeless guy. I guess he kept going to my mom's door and asking for money, and my mom's, a loving small lady, and I guess he took that as like, oh, she's gullible. And so one morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, on like a Thursday, I was getting ready to go to work, but our door has like a little window, so we kind of can see, but not really. It's like a higher level, so all you see is their head.
Mm-hmm.
And the motion light sensor came on, so the light came on, so I can clearly see it's a black male standing outside my door. It's like 6 in the morning, and I'm just like, and he's like banging on my door, like dun dun dun, like I thought it was the police. And before we've had the fire department come one day because we did have a gas leak, and they did the same thing, and I was like, okay, is it fire department? And I can't hear them, so I got outside the door. There's nobody's out there. I was like, so there is a black guy standing outside my door at 6 in the morning, and it's the time me and my mom go out to our cars. And so I called her. I was like, do not go outside. She was like, what the fuck is happening? And luckily Irvin was home, and I was like, babe, I called him. I was like, babe, there's somebody out the door, and he like banging on this door like it's his life depending on it. And then Irvin comes. He has a gun on him, like tucked in his pants. And the guy was like, "Hey, I just need a few dollars to get back." Like the same shitty story that he told my mom. And my mom remembered him from
Mm-hmm.
when we first moved in. He asked her if she could rent out a closet, or he can rent out a closet. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Stop
Anyways,
it.
my mom remembered him. He was like, "Yeah," he was telling me the same story he told last time. And I was like, "I'm pretty sure he's gonna tell the same story." And he did. And then everyone was like, yeah, we don't have any money on us. Sorry, bro." And he was just like, "Come on, man." And he showed his, that he had a knife tucked in his pants. And then Ern was like, and he showed his gun. He was like, "I really want you to get off my property." And then the guy was like, "Oh, my bad, bro. I just, can I get some water so I can get some Coke or something?" And everyone was like, "No, bro, get off my property. Like, I will use this." And then he left and he hasn't come back since.
You gotta set that tone sometimes, man. Nah, that's
So,
crazy though. That's crazy.
and then for like a good 2 weeks, I was lucky scared to go to work. So we set up more cameras around the house. Um, but yeah.
I remember when I went to college in Iowa for like a very short period of time. We don't need to get into all that. But we got off the plane and we went to like a Walmart and just big ass guns in people's waistbands and on their hips left and
Mm-hmm.
right. And I was like, bro, what? Like, what is going on? Like, in
Yeah.
California, like, you can have a concealed weapons permit, but like, you feel me? Everybody's pops not just walking around with the blammer on their hip like
Yeah.
that, and it's just kind of like I don't want to say like a culture shock, but low key it's a little scary because it's like,
Yeah.
bro, anybody in here could start shooting, like,
That
and
is
it's like
true.
this is the era of mass shootings in public places and
Mm-hmm.
shit. So I'm like, I guess in the sense of like everyone's not a bad guy. Somebody could shoot back. It's just also like anybody could start shooting right
Yeah.
now.
Get
That shit
into
makes me
the hands
nervous.
of somebody that
Yeah,
shouldn't have it.
yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy. I think the first time like it made me realize that was I worked at a little Asian store,
Hmm.
and this Filipino came in. A Filipino lady came in, and she was like short, like our parents' height, real sweet. And I've seen her before, but one day she had like it was like wintertime, so all I saw was her with a jacket. But once it became summertime, like she had like maybe like a sweater or cardigan maybe. Well, anyways, you could see like a big ass Glock on her side. I was like,
She not
not
playing.
auntie with the Glock, bruh. It's like that out here. And then I was like, people really be carrying guns and shit out here.
Man, if California was an open carry state, bro,
Yeah, it'd be pretty fucking crazy.
no, for real, for real, for real, for
Yeah,
Would be pretty crazy.
it'd be pretty crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a discussion for another time, man. We're running short on time here because Moo has to catch a flight. But,
Mm.
we'll get her on a future episode, hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to cut off the episode today. I don't have to end off with a quote because I think we dropped some dimes today.
Yeah, we had some good combos.
real.
Good
Good,
quotes.
good
Good talks.
quotes.
We dropped some quotes. We dropped some dimes. We had a good convo today. So, yeah, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the Free Spirit Podcast. I'm Jay Doozy. I'm the host.
Let us know
Again,
what else to talk about.
yeah, give us some topics in the comments if you guys want us to discuss any.
Man, shit, I'm Stoff MMA on Instagram.
Facts.
Tap in.
I don't know my username. I think it's ALLYSSATXN on Instagram. I think most places that's what my username is.
Shoot, if y'all
Yeah.
can't spell it, maybe I'll throw it in the description. I don't know. In the description, or I'll throw it up on the screen. But yeah, this was episode 2 of the Free Spirit Podcast, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having us. Happy to be here. Shout out to family.
I'm gonna get y'all back on future episodes for sure. But yeah, this was episode 2.
Bye.
Y'all got anything else you want to leave off with now? Cool.
No.
All right, man. I'm gonna catch y'all.